From Singapore, essential business news as it breaks and a look at the economic news that will shape the day. This is BBC World News and Asia Business Report.
Wrapping up the Southeast Asian Games, we find out how good they've been for sponsors and for Singapore. And after the floods, why there's a new breed of businesswomen emerging in Pakistan. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Asia Business Report on BBC World News. I'm Mariko Oi. It is the closing day of the Southeast Asian Games being hosted this year in Singapore. And while the athletes have been competing for fame and glory, the sponsors are vying for the spectators' hearts and their wallets. A major sporting event like this one presents a prime opportunity to tap the growing spending power across the region. Mariko Oi has more from Singapore's National Stadium.
For the past few weeks, it has, of course, all been about sports, but it is also about the economy and sponsorship money. Back in 2010, the Singapore government came under quite a bit of criticism when it hosted the Youth Olympics for spending a bit too much money. So has it learned its lesson and has it been worth it? Well, joining me now is Marcus Luer, a sports marketing expert. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
So I guess Singapore spent about $300 million hosting this. Has it been worth it in your view?
I think it has been, and historically the SEA Games have not really been so much about the economic side of it, but it's really about the pride factor within the nation and I guess the rivalry within Southeast Asia overall. Singapore being a small country or a small city-state is really showing off its might here, both in its infrastructure and the performance of the athletes. Being second overall in gold medals and overall actually leading the table in all medals. I think that shows Singapore is sending a huge message to the region saying, you know, don't take us for granted. Here's what we can do as a small country.
And I guess it is also sending a message that it can host a sporting event like this because it has been known as the financial hub, but not exactly for sports.
Absolutely. I mean, Singapore has, of course, with Formula One, put itself on a global map. But truly, the SEA Games are very different. It's very much about Southeast Asia. It's about showing the region what it can do. And the facilities are world-class, as the city has always been.
I was going to ask you about the F1 because that's very global, whereas the SEA Games, one can argue that not many people outside the region would know about it. So what's in it for companies sponsoring the Games?
Yeah, I think, again, the companies, you will find a good mixture of people who truly are here part of it because it's Singapore and it's their home and hub. Singapore is obviously a hub for a lot of regional business as well. So for them to showcase, you know, or participate in what is truly a big regional event is very important. So Southeast Asia is 600 million people. So there's a lot of reason why you want to be part of this.
Marcus Luer, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have a few more finals this morning before the closing ceremony this evening.
Mariko Oi at the National